Well, hello, everyone. Hey, I'm Dr. Tamara White, and welcome back to this series on steps to mastering courageous living. We have gone through 2 days of fabulous teaching and some great nuggets. And I hope that you have found some peace and found some things that you could do to accelerate your day to day living. Love for you to go ahead and grab a pen, grab some paper so that you can take down the notes on today's lesson. So, we have talked about the last 2 days. We've talked about your purpose and believing in yourself and how important that is on day one. Day two, we talked about living with your values, following the principles that you live by in your life, and how that can add towards you living a courageous life. And now, today, we are going to be talking about how to choose not to live in overwhelm. Ladies, I know what overwhelm looks like because I too live in overwhelm sometimes. But what I'm talking about today is a constant living in overwhelm where you can't seem to get out of that pattern, where one foot is going forward and back and forward and back, where you're stuck, where you're having headaches, where you've got heartaches and belly aches, when you don't know how to move past being in overwhelm. And that's what we're going to talk about today, is how not to live in a constant state of overwhelm. And that's why I asked you to grab a pen and paper so that you can jot some things down as I'm talking, and then write down maybe a note that might mean something to you that you can go back to when we're finished. So if you're with me, I am here to serve. I really enjoy working and teaching and doing these kinds of things to elevate women's mindsets so that you know that you're not by yourself, that you don't have to live in a state of overwhelm, that you don't have to live in a place where you don't know what your purpose is, and that you can stay true to your values and your principles. And that's what we're here today. That's what this whole series is about, is living a courageous life. So if you're with me and I'm with you, let's dive in on today. All right? Okay. So listen, I want you to learn how to navigate out of the overwhelmed situation where we're just constantly in overwhelm. And I am looking at my notes because that's how I teach. I don't have it all up here buried, but I do know what I'm talking about. I've been in this industry for a long time and have helped a lot of people. So we want you to learn how to navigate so that you can find that inner peace. We don't want to feel like we're just in a struggle bus all the time where we can't get off. And ladies, I'm not perfect. I understand what it looks like because I have dealt with it myself, where when is it going to stop? When is all this madness going to stop, where I'm just constantly going and can't catch my breath? Well, just a few things today I just want you to take a note of. I want you to identify what is draining you. Is that something that you can put a name to? What is that thing that is draining you? And oftentimes when I ask this question, people know what's draining them. It could be a person, it could be work, it could be just a whole litany of things, that you just have too many things on your plate. And I want you to just kind of identify that, because without that, we can't solve the issue. So once you identify what's draining you, is that a constant in your life where you're constantly just like on a treadmill, you can't get off? Is that the same thing over and over again? Then I want you to take some time to think about what that is, and begin to examine that, begin to look at that. Is there something that you can do about it? And I'll go through a few little steps of things that you can do about it. First of all, I want you to look at your schedule, because oftentimes we can take a moment to just really review our schedule. There's some things that we can lock out. For instance, on your way home, can you stop and get groceries? Can you schedule a dental appointment, a medical appointment? Because a lot of doctors and medical professionals now are having evening and weekend appointments. Can you reschedule some things for your kids that may not be important to do now, but that can be put off till later? What does your schedule look like? And I'm not saying that just because I'm telling you these strategies that it's all going to clear up overnight, because it won't. What I'm saying is I want to remind you that you are in control of your destiny. You are in control of your life, and have that mindset change. Shift that mindset to begin to believe in yourself, that you are really the one that's in control of this, and that you can do something about it. You can put the skids on it and just say, hey, I'm not going a step further until I get myself geared up and get myself planned out. So looking at your schedule means that you might have to say no to some things because we get so many invites and there's so many things calling on our attention. And when you're working a job every day and when you have responsibilities, some of us may be caretaking now. Now we have parents that have moved in with us, or we have someone's kids that have moved in with us. So we've got children, we've got grown-ups, we've got the responsibilities that you just, my goodness, it just gets overwhelming, like I'm saying. But there is common overwhelm because it's all about your perspective. And how do you get that inner peace back? One thing is saying the word no. And without any apologies, ladies, you do not owe anyone an apology because you say no and you can't do something. So learn to put that in your vocabulary as part of what you're going to do to stop the overwhelm. Oftentimes, the overwhelm is because we keep saying yes and we keep saying yes and we keep saying yes. And that's really not where we should be, because on the inside of you, your spirit is saying, I can't do it. I don't want to do it. And I really wish I could say no. You can say no. You've just got to work your way up to that to learn how to say no. And that's why I'm doing this course, because if you don't know how, then you and I can talk. When the pain really gets big enough, you will learn how to reach out for help. And that's one of my points, is to reach out for help. Talk to a friend, a therapist, a life coach, like a transformational coach, life coach like myself. Find someone that can perhaps give you a strategy, help you along the way, to hold you accountable to the thing that you say that you want, which is you're choosing not to live in overwhelm. That leads to heartaches. That leads, like I said, to a lot of mental stress. And that leads to heart attacks. That's one of the number one killers of women, is heart attacks, because we are just in a state of overwhelm, a state of influx all the time. There's something always going. But I want you to know that you are in charge of you, and you can decide today to make that difference. So learn how to set some boundaries. Next point. What kind of boundaries are you dealing with? Do you have boundaries? That's really important. Do you have boundaries in your life where you set those boundaries with certain things and people and places or whatnot, and you choose what it is that you want to do? What do your boundaries look like? Or are you just saying yes to everything and yes to everybody? If you want that to be no, then say the word no, and let your no be no and your yes be yes. But let it be on your own terms. So set those boundaries, ladies. Set those boundaries. I know it can be hard, especially when it's people in your world, in your circle, but even at work, sometimes you're picking up more things than you need to. That's why I said examine your schedule, examine what it is that is causing you this grief. So the next point I want to talk about is, do you identify as a perfectionist? Can you say that out loud to yourself and know that to be true? Are you a perfectionist? If you are, that is a no-no. I'm just point blank telling you that is so unrealistic. That's unrealistic behavior. No one can live up to your demands. You will even let your own self down. And I know what you're saying. Oh, Dr. Tamara, you don't understand. I can do it better than my cousin. I can do it better than my sister, the people I supervise. And I know that you probably can. But being a perfectionist is just a way to spiral your life down, because you'll never, ever be satisfied. Oftentimes, we don't look at ourselves at that, but I want you to look at yourself. Are you a perfectionist? Because that may be a stumbling block in the overwhelm that you're experiencing, because if it's all about you, then it won't happen in life. If it's all about you, you'll never win that way. I know of working with people. Stop living like that. You've got to settle yourself down and really, really look at that, because that is a painful, painful way to live. Because when people will constantly disappoint you, and is it true? People will disappoint you because you'll disappoint yourself. So learn how not to be a perfectionist and recalibrate your own self. Recalibrate your own self so that you can really, really be true to yourself. Just get yourself and sit yourself down. Like I'm always saying, learn how to sit yourself down, meditate, and be real with yourself. Believe in yourself and be real with yourself at the same time so this perfectionism can stop. Okay, let me run to my next point, ladies. Now, I hope you're taking copious notes because you know I'm here to serve and I always over deliver. So, my next point is, what does your work life balance look like? Is your work life balance out of whack? And out of whack, meaning that's adding to your list of overwhelm as well. At work, you're out of balance. You know, you come home, you're out of balance. Nothing is falling into place. Once again, ladies, I'm talking about a pattern because oftentimes there are seasons in our life, there are times in our life that things are just going to be that way. But you don't want to continue to live that way. You want to choose not to live in overwhelm. So examine your priorities. Look at what's really, really important to you in your life at this point. Look at that and be really, really real with yourself. What are your priorities? And what can you let go of, if anything? Is there something that you can let go of that's really causing the overwhelm right now? And maybe it's something that you can go back and pick up later. I'm not saying that you don't have to, do the things that you need to do now, but don't keep it on the plate where it's constant overwhelm. Constant overwhelm. So if you recalibrate yourself, you'll begin to see the things that are causing the problem and then recalibrate. Then begin to look at what you can let go of. And those examples could look like anything. Do I need to let go of some friends? Do I need to let go of stopping on my way to work at Starbucks? Because that takes up another 10 minutes and I'm always late. Does that mean that I don't sign up for every little thing that comes up, even for my kids? Where can I get in a rotation of these kinds of things? Am I the first one raising my hand all the time? Every time something comes up, I can do it, knowing doggone well that you can't do it. At work, are you able to delegate some of your responsibilities? Are you able to sit down and talk to your supervisor to say, hey, this plate is getting a little large. Can we put some of that stuff somewhere else on somebody else who might need to do this more than me? There's a way that you can speak up for yourself at work and in your life. So you are the captain of your ship. You are the CEO of your life, courageous woman. And that's how we roll. You've got to stand up for yourself. And I want you to make sure that you're getting the rest that you need. What are your sleeping habits? What are your eating habits looking like? Take an inventory of that. Maintain a good self-care routine. And whatever that means for you, getting with some friends, getting a massage, getting a facial, getting your hair colored, whatever that self-care routine looks like for you, just spending some time alone and reading, sipping a glass of wine, having a cup of coffee, making phone calls to long friends that you haven't talked to in a while. Whatever lights you up and makes you feel well, then make that a routine. I know some women who get together monthly, like the first Friday of every month. There's a bunch of women ladies that get together. I've heard that over and over again. I do special things for myself, things that I really enjoy doing. And it makes your soul feel good when you've had this whole dishevel of work-life balance. So I want you to keep all these things in mind about getting the rest, about learning how to say no or postponing something that may not need to be done right now. Stop raising your hand for everything. You're the go-to for the family. Everybody goes to you and you solve everybody's problems. I am giving you permission. And you can tell whoever you need to tell. Dr. Tamara said, I don't have to do that. That I can only do the things that I can do within the amount of time and the amount of ability and the amount of resources that you have. So I really want you to take some of these things to heed, ladies, because it's very, very important, because that's going to give you longevity in your life. It's not going to cause you a lot of mental health stress and physical stress, because when you begin to take care of yourself, then you're choosing not to live in overwhelm, because you'll be stronger, you'll be better, you'll be wiser, because you'll see it coming. Everything I'm teaching on here is about being prepared for when that stuff comes, because it's coming. The overwhelm is coming. The stress and anxiety is coming. The depression is coming. The fear is coming. But when you are prepared and when you know how these things are going to jump off, you just need to be prepared about how you're going to respond. Just like if you're on a diet and someone offers you a big fat piece of chocolate cake and you really want to lose those pounds, you're going to learn how to say no. That's just another example. When you want to get to the gym and it's really important to you, you're going to learn how to do that. When it's time to find another job, and maybe your job right now is not serving you, you're going to figure out a way. And those are the things that will keep you from being overwhelmed. So stop the perfectionism. Identify what's really, really happening to you, what's really, really bothering you. And those are the kinds of steps that will take you into not living in overwhelm. So I really enjoy doing what I'm doing. I really enjoy being here on this platform. I hope that you're getting some really, really good nuggets here about what I'm teaching, because it's so important. These are day-to-day, just life things that I want you to take advantage of. So anyway, that concludes our class today. I've got a few more that I am going to bring forward to you, and they're going to be on a different topic, but it's all about living courageously. And I'm just so excited. But I can tell you what, ladies, if you do absolutely nothing with this information, guess what? You'll get absolutely nothing. Nothing will change. If you don't change, nothing else will change. I can promise you that. So listen, make a promise to yourself that this time you will do something. This time it's going to be different. You're going to step into your next season of living a courageous life. And I believe in you. So until next time, I am signing off, Dr. Tamara. And I just want to say this is how empowerment is elevated and every woman wins. All right. Take care until next time. Enjoy your evening or your day or whatever time of night you're listening to this. Just thank you for joining in. Take care.